What is it about puzzle games that makes them so much fun to play? I mean, sure we have our games like Tetris, Dr. Mario, and Bomberman to name a few, but how many games can provide the same fun challenge while also managing to be a one-of-a-kind platformer? Well, in case you haven't figured it out yet, Mighty Switch Force is that game. Now at first glance, you probably wouldn't even have guessed that this is a puzzle platformer. You look at it and you think, oh, this looks like a typical side-scrolling action game. The controls are really good, you can jump and shoot like in any other game. But that's where all ties to it being an action game are dispelled. The game pulls you in thinking that you're going to be playing something along the lines of Metroid meets Mega Man, and then it introduces you to an entirely new concept. In Mighty Switch Force, you're not out to save the world from alien forces or to foil a mad scientist's evil plan for world domination. You're a badass female cop who's going after a group of escaped convicts, and you've got to get to them as quickly as possible. The designers really took this concept and ran with it throughout the entire game. The first few levels are more or less training, getting you used to the game's mechanics. As I already mentioned, the goal of each level is to round up all the fugitives, but as you go throughout the entire game, it goes from being as easy to jumping on a platform to reach them, to pausing for a few seconds and then thinking about what you have to do in order to get the girl. Each area is a new challenge and you're given just enough time to figure out what you've got to do and how to get it done. A big part of the game is using your siren to cause some blocks to change from being tangible and intangible, and each level has their own distinction on this simple concept. But just because you mastered the previous level, it doesn't mean that the next one is going to be a cakewalk. There are some platforms that you can only reach by jumping on one while it's solid, and then quickly changing the next one so that you don't fall down. This means that you're going to have to get familiar with changing platforms on the fly. One really cool thing that you can do is that you can lure an enemy that's nearby into a hollow block, and then quickly change it to solid so that he can be crushed by it. But be careful, as the same thing can happen to you if you don't plan your jumps accordingly. And it can get really hard later on when you have some new platforms that you can only manipulate if you stand on them and use your siren to alter their pattern. Let's just say that this game isn't very kind to people who have a short attention span. I know when I started doing reviews, I used to mention a lot that I really wasn't into puzzle games, because it would take me ages to figure out what I had to do, and I'd always get a migraine doing so. But I'm starting to warm up to them after playing this game. Overall, it's pretty fun to play, and it's sure to eat up some afternoons and some late nights. It's on the Nintendo eShop for about $10, and it's more than worth your cash. Well, that's all I can say for now. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.